This first entry comes from the paranormal board on Reddit. It looks like the OP converted his garage into a game room or man cave. The user informs us that he installed some home security cameras because he had been hearing some noises coming from that room. After a couple of weeks, he started getting notifications on his phone alerting him that the camera had detected motion or noise. But they were always at weird times, like while he was at work or in the middle of the night. These are some of the things the camera recorded.
Back in it. Silenced. Silenced.
Since this is my first video, I will tell you all now. I am a pretty skeptical person when it comes to this stuff, but I do believe in it. As for this video, there are a couple of things I would like to point out. In this clip, you can actually see a string for a quick second being illuminated by the light, and it looks like it's holding up whatever this thing is supposed to be. The fact that there is a string at all implicates to me that this is probably fake, but who knows? Maybe that isn't a string, or maybe it's a spider web or something. The second thing is a little more obvious, the whole silence part. It sounds like somebody is just standing under the camera and trying to sound scary. The OP pointed out that the motion detector triggered after the voice we heard, which probably means that somebody was just standing under the camera. But it's up to you to decide what you believe, and that goes for all of these entries. This next video was such an interesting find and something that I think the whole paranormal and horror community will love. This was an old video of the uploader's 6th birthday party that was recorded on a VHS tape. This was one of the only times the uploader said they had their whole family together, so they would watch the tape periodically, but didn't notice that there was a face watching down on them from the corner of the ceiling. I didn't notice this at first either, and when I did, it totally caught me off guard. I watched this video a bunch of times, and there are a couple of small things I'd like to point out. The angle that they were filming seems a little off. It's almost like they were trying to catch the top of the ceiling for whatever reason, but that could also just be because whoever was filming was paying more attention to the party. However, the uploader also filmed this on their phone while they were playing the VHS on the TV. This tells us that they didn't exactly know what they were doing when it comes to video editing, or in this case using some sort of software to add the face later, which really strengthens the uploader's case that this is 100% real. There is a ton of picture and video evidence of the paranormal that come from trail cams. People use them for tracking game, monitoring their property, and studying animal activity. They are usually triggered by motion and begin recording or taking pictures when something is detected. So you can only imagine some of the things people see when using these things. This video comes from someone that uses a trail cam on their property to monitor mountain lion activity. A transparent figure can be seen moving from right to left very subtly, almost floating across the screen. A few commenters even believe you can see the rabbit react to the figure. After watching this a few times, I noticed that towards the end, the footage seems to get a little darker. This is especially noticeable if you loop the video and watch it transition back to the beginning. This could mean that there was a second video layer added over the original footage and made opaque to create the effect that there is a figure. This is just one explanation that I've come up with, but I could be completely wrong. I'd love to hear some of your opinions in the comments or ideas of what this could be. This next one is especially creepy for me. It comes from a Reddit user in Scotland that manages a charity shop and received this doll in a house clearance. They said the doll made them feel uneasy and sick, and after a couple of days they started noticing the doll would be in different positions than they left it, as well as the store lights flickering, things turning on by themselves, and other strange occurrences. They set this up and filmed the doll for 24 hours, and of course, they captured some disturbing images. If you have seen the Conjuring or Annabelle series, you probably know that those are based on real events. This is a Raggedy Ann doll, which is also what the real Annabelle doll is. The reason I said this one was especially creepy for me was because my mom had one of these dolls in my childhood home, and it used to terrify me. And who knows, maybe that one was haunted too. These next videos were uploaded on YouTube in hopes that one of us could help decipher the audio that is present in this footage. This user captured these on his home security system in the middle of the night and while nobody was home. They were experiencing some strange occurrences that started off with a few small things like hearing noises and flickering lights. But eventually this escalated into things like doors slamming shut, hearing voices, and he even witnessed a fork levitating in his kitchen. There are 3 clips. Take a listen and see if you can make out any of the audio or voices as the user puts it. In my opinion, this sounds like some kind of interference or background noise. However, I see what the uploader is saying, and the majority of commenters agree with him. It sounds demonic in nature and you can almost make out words. I attempted to clean up the audio as much as I could and increase the volume. Here's what it sounds like. I will spend some more time on this audio and see what I can come up with, and I'll post an update if I am able to make anything out myself. Before we get to our final entry, I would like to thank you all for checking out my first video. There will be much more to come. We will always try to dig up new horror-related content that hasn't been covered yet, or at least hasn't been covered much by other channels. But we will of course be giving our own take on some of the notorious content as well. Please like this video and subscribe, it would mean the world to us. And don't forget to click the notification bell, that way you will know when we release a new video. Our last video brings us to the UK. This user captured this while filming a promotional video in their hometown. It starts with the uploader filming as they drive through the middle of town, I assume to probably use as B-roll. They didn't actually realize there was something odd in their footage until they were watching it back. As they are driving, they turn a corner and you can see a figure running away from the vehicle on the right side of the frame. It looks like a little girl, but she is almost transparent and seems to just disappear. I decided to look at this frame by frame, and I honestly can't tell if she just runs around the corner or completely vanishes. The uploader says that there was nowhere for her to go and that they would have seen her once they turned the corner. Besides that, they also claim that there was no little girl at all, or anybody for that matter. So what do you guys think? Is this a ghost or someone with superpowers? Or is this just a little kid playing in the streets of her hometown? So I know towards the end there, my voice sounded like it dropped about 30 decibels. I was actually sick, and I know I should have refilmed it, but I didn't, and now we're here. But thank you guys for sticking with it anyway. We'll catch you next time.